All right, all right. Relax, chill. I know. I'm heading to the barber right now. Relax. Don't even do that. Actually, I gotta go anyway. I just want to touch on this real quick before I forget about it. Let me probably be a little two-part. We're gonna put it together. I just want to make sure I get my thoughts out because what I have to do is I keep saying record these videos as I think of them because I mess around and I get home. A day go by, the day goes by, and I don't do nothing. So I want to comment on a video I saw with Iyanla. She was the lady who had the show called Iyanla Fix My Life. I actually learned in this video where she's being interviewed. Can't tell you the lady's name. Her name is Ebony something. But basically, Iyanla's being interviewed, and they're talking again about what's really a disingenuous conversation about what do black women need to do, for things to get better. But one thing I will say is that on some level, the conversation is moving forward. And shout out to brother Kevin Samuels and everyone in the red pill space and the black YouTube space in general who have been talking about these things, talking about relationship dynamics, what actually works, what men need and want, and what women need and want, on a core level, on a spiritual level, on a deeper level, right? Because again, if I'm 35, right? So definitely if you're around my age range, you grew up with a lot of propaganda, a lot of movies, TV shows, and songs and whatnot that constantly told you, don't worry about the girls, don't worry about the women. They got it. They're in a league of their own. This always is that women can do whatever men can do, and men and women are interchangeable. When in fact we do two very different things, and women have been lied to in general. And we all been lied to. It was one of the most, I don't know how to even put it. I don't want to say sobering or enlightening, but like when I had my son with my co-parent now, when at that time I didn't understand the dynamics of male and female relationships in terms of what makes women happy, what makes men happy, and how do men have to move in order to have a good relationship. I didn't understand that. No, you don't let a woman pay the rent. Or you don't move in with a woman. You know what I'm saying? You don't you have to be the head of the household. You have to have leverage in your relationship. Men need that kind of financial leverage. She needs to kind of feel like you're a leader. You know what I mean? Also, she needs to be moving into your place. All these different dynamics that modern men have just not been made privy to. And also, it's not so much about even the money aspect. This is more so about how women are, how women think, how to respond to stress, and one of the easiest ways to have a trash relationship, is as a man to come into it thinking that, yeah, we 50-50. Listen, I don't care if it's 55-45. I don't care if it's 60-40. I don't care if it's 70-30. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's 65-35. As a man, you don't ever be in a situation where you going half in the bills, or you're relying on a woman financially, or you rely on her for the essentials, for food, clothing, and shelter, or create a lifestyle where if she ain't with you no more, or if she stops working, y'all cannot maintain your lifestyle at all. You do not want that. It just makes for issues. It makes for problems. So anyway, I'm going to attach the clip and before after the video where Iyanla asks a good question. Now, it may be, at first I was going to say it was like an extreme example, but she says, would you date a bus driver? And Ebony, now she's the one interviewing her. She's a correspondent, and she's also was a lawyer. I didn't know that Iyanla was also had a background in law. Hey, the more you know, right? So Iyanla asked, would you date a bus driver? And old girl, her response is, if he owned the bus, or if he owned the bus company, and Iyanla says, see, that's the problem. That's the problem. Your expectations and your requirements are so, basically what she was saying was they're so out of whack. They're so unrealistic that you don't realize that that's why you still single. These are the first two generations of women where this is the most we've seen, especially attractive women. There are so many attractive women over 35, ain't never going to happen for you. It ain't never going to happen for you. You ain't never going to get no man. And we got to a point where we've changed culture and changed the culture to a point where it's no longer shameful to not be able to get a man. At the end of the day, listen, not that a man is defined solely by the women in his life and kind of women he can get and women in general. Men, we rate that. If you can get women and the kind of women you can get, that still matters. What your job is matters. If you a punk, matters. You take care of your kid, it matters. Your flaws matter between men. Men don't excuse none of this stuff. And we're not going to lie. If you fat, we're not going to tell you that you're not fat. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to tell you you're not fat. We're not going to tell you that you're not trash at that particular thing. We're going to keep it a buck. That's love. That's real. And we done created such a culture where we lie to women to the point where they don't realize, yo, you losing. If he owns the buck, man, you're 40. 40. That's the age most women fear. Why do women fear the age 40? Because she doesn't have her youthfulness no more. That's why a woman dates an older man. Because if he's older than you, you can give him youthfulness. Why do you see women more than ever on Instagram, social media with no clothes on, dressing like their daughter? More than ever, you cannot tell who's the daughter and who's the mother, especially if they're not 25, 30 years apart. You can not that you can't tell, but in terms of the essence, the aura, everything about you supposed to be graceful at 40 years old. You supposed to have had a few kids at 40 years old. You know what I mean? Especially for a woman, because a woman does not have her entire life to have kids. Yes, you can have kids at 40. Is it smart? Is it a good idea? Is it good timing? I can go to school and get my first degree whenever I want. I can go to trade school whenever I want. I can go pick up a trade, a skill. I can do it. I'm 35. I'm not that old. I can do it now, right? But with my first degree, I only have one degree. With my first degree, when was the best time for me to pursue this degree? When I was living with my family and I was a super young man, 17, 18. That's the best time, because what? You have all the time in the world. Your parents and your family, your school supposed to have been getting you ready to be a decent student, so that when you do go to school, you don't waste the tuition money. You don't waste tuition failing and getting C's and D's. By the time you get to college, if you're going to college, you should know how to get an A or a B. C should be occasional, because you've been to school your whole life. Why is it different, right? But I'm just saying in general, but I'm just saying as far as timing though, because I'm like, yo, I would hate to have to try to get my first degree now. When I gotta work, I have a child, like our relationship and stuff like that. That would be so freaking time consuming. You know what I mean? I had the best time. If I'm an athlete, yeah, right. Okay, I can go to school at any time if I'm an athlete. But if I'm an athlete and I want a scholarship, right? And I want a school to pay for it, when should I go to school? 17, 18, 19, right? Because that's where, for one, that's when schools are interested in giving you a scholarship. All right? Like relationships are for a woman are so much like jobs and like being an athlete. You have a limited time, and a limited time to where you are attractive to this party, or this to who you're trying to get an opportunity from. Okay? And not even believe it or not, that time obviously runs out, you know, and she's not the only one. And I hope that, we get to a point where black women are tired of losing, tired of being by yourself, really just coming to grips with, all right, gotta try something different. So anyway, just want to get into that. I'll probably do a little more, I might add a little more to this and everything. I just want to make sure I got these thoughts out. Yeah, man, 6 past commandments, let's get it.